give you the option.
Welcome to The Option. I'm your host, James, and with me I got Phil, Nick, and Frank. Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Broncos won!
49ers lost! Oh.
I don't care. Sam's not here, and someone had to give it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what more is there to say? The Broncos, which the defense looks fantastic, took out the Dallas Cowboys, and we're all super happy about it. But let's not go crazy. It's still the Dallas Cowboys, and they're still a good team. But we have to get that in there because we're not going to have too many opportunities to take a shot.
It was a bad game from the Cowboys all around. The defense was not ready. Dak was not ready. He looked rusty. It just didn't click, and the Broncos had a great game plan. They ran the ball, and they kept the ball out of Dak's hand for him to get the rhythm that he needed to make the plays. Like there was 4 or 5 chances that, he just missed receivers, just a little over, just a little ahead, just a little behind. Like, it was close. But there was
a lot of overthrows.
It was at the end of the day,
a lot of high balls.
At the end, you're going to have some stinkers, and this is the NFL. Any team can win on any Sunday. That's the moral of the story. So I will be the first one to say congratulations, Sam. I know you're not here, but you will be listening to this. And the better team won on Sunday. Are they the better team overall? Hell no. And I will go down by saying that. So you can have Sunday's win, but we will go to the playoffs and you won't. Maybe not. We'll see. But then you can watch us on Sunday in the playoffs instead. That's where we'll go with that. But we will talk a little bit more about that as well. Forget that now, gentlemen. How you guys doing aside from that?
Oh, why didn't lose this week?
Terrible. They didn't win either.
Pretty exciting. Well, I didn't have to sit through a loss, so
But you didn't get even to watch them play. Rough. Is it better not watching them play? Is that how you enjoy your Sundays?
When they lose the way they've been losing.
Do you cry with Dan Campbell? Do you guys have like your own chat lines between all lines? Do you guys all sit there and cry together, or is it?
Yeah, us tough burly guys gotta stick together. We cry it out ourselves,
He's tough and burly and scary. You not so much, Frank. I've known you for a while. It's I'm not.
Come on, I remember those Greco stiff arms you used to take in the face. Come on.
We're talking about the football move still, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea what he's talking about. I am a little confused. Are you sure that was me, Frank? I don't know about that.
At least one.
Is that at least one or at least once?
At least one Greco stiff arm.
Okay. I'm a little scared on where your minds just went with that, you dirty people, you. But anyways, it's a clean show. Remember that. Clean show. It was a regular stiff arm football move. He didn't get too far, but that's okay.
Wasn't a body slam to our buddy Mike.
That was bad. Nonetheless, we had a fun week of football this week. The Brady-less week 9 was a very interesting week in football. We had a lot of okay games, some really good drama, and then some crazy upsets.
For the most part, if you cheer for a loser, you're happy this week.
Pretty much. That's all you have to do.
That's what it came down to. There was since we're talking the upsets, we may as well get into it. We already mentioned the Denver upsetting the Cowboys. Yeah, we know that. Good for them. But the biggest upset had to be Jacksonville over the Bills. Like that, I don't think anybody across the board, they were a 14 or 15 and a half point favored, and they lost 9-6. They couldn't even score a touchdown.
That's crazy.
Nope. Yeah, I went against Buffalo the last 3 weeks on those big spreads and lost all of my tickets. So this week, I'm like, I'm just going to take the 14 and a half because it's Jacksonville. It doesn't get any easier than this. So
I lost all my tickets again.
I'll just message you. Yeah, I'll just message my bets to you guys, and just to play against them.
Oh man!
So you're the reason why Buffalo lost, is what you're saying. All right, I got you.
Must be.
My
wife has taken Buffalo on every big spread, and they always cover. The one time I do it,
all I know is I'm facing Frank in one of our fantasy leagues, and I start all my horrible players because my team is down at the bottom this year, and I'm already kind of packing it in. And Frank's got the super team over there, and I got Jets
First
players. I got everybody. The only player that didn't show up to play was Josh Allen. Everybody else went off, and Josh Allen did absolutely nothing. And at the end of the day, Frank, who won that matchup? Just curious.
You did.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
Thanks, James. Helps me.
Playing a little bit of spoiler.
I trade for Henderson and Kamara this week. Both of the running backs, my weak position.
My.
And they both got hurt.
Burrow and Chase.
Apparently, by the way, that was some breaking news today.
They're
that
okay.
Apparently,
They're
Kamara might be dinged up. They're not sure how bad, but the Saints were out testing some running backs today, and they ended up signing Josh Adams. Is it to the practice squad? I believe that's his name. So
I'm not worried. That's just hearsay. They need depth.
I don't know, man. The fact that they went out that quickly.
I think it's just how bad the passing game is.
Yeah.
They're just like, okay, it looks like we're going to have to run the ball 40 times a game because we can't pass.
They just picked up Mark Ingram as well.
Trevor Simeon's. Sorry?
They just picked up Mark Ingram as well.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, in Trevor Simeon's defense too in that game, I thought he played really, really well.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of easy drops.
He played better in the second half.
He was on pace to go 15 for 15, and they had dropped like 5 third downs in a row.
Yeah,
it was bananas.
Well, they don't have receivers, man. Their number one wide receiver is like a number 3 on any other team. What are you going to do with that?
Would Callaway be the number 1 right now?
No, it's the other one.
I think it's Deontay
No, it's
Harris.
not even him.
Yeah, Deontay Harris can catch, and Marquez Callaway can't
but
run.
That's not even their number 1 who's supposed to be number 1. The number 1 was the guy.
Maybe they should just run the same route.
Traquan Smith?
He's supposed to be their number 1 right now because Thomas is out, right?
Traquan Smith barely made the roster when they had healthy receivers before. He's only the number 1 because everyone else is so much worse.
That's how bad that team is, right? And then you factor in that you got Trevor Simeon starting, who's a number 3 quarterback. Like, that whole team is in shambles. I don't even know how they kept it that close. And they were favored by 5.
How is that not the best situation for OBJ?
Because there's no quarterback to throw.
Nothing there.
Like Simeon was fine. He was fine. He's going to get
go there?
Why go there
when you can go to a contending team? Why would you go there? I wouldn't go there.
But they are contending.
Would you pick them as a team to win a Super Bowl?
Offense better. If they could get a wide receiver,
you think
they have
one
a good
wide
chance.
receiver is going to change that team and they're going to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I really think that's all they need.
I don't think so. I think they need a lot more than
I think they
that.
just need a stud receiver.
I don't think so. Plus, OBJ hasn't been a stud wide receiver in 5 years.
Phenomenal. Both lines are great. Oh, I agree with that. We don't know what OBJ is anymore. But I honestly think the Saints are easily a top 5 team without any question if they get a stud receiver.
But can you trust Simeon going against the Rams defense?
No.
Going against Arizona's defense? Cowboys defense even?
I mean,
in the playoff game on the road?
Right,
that's also if Simeon's still the guy. They might flip to Hill. Hill might just not have been ready yet. Like, we have no idea what they're going to do now.
I haven't really seen anything.
I'm surprised Hill didn't get the start to begin with.
He just didn't have enough reps and whatnot, and the team was structured around Winston, and everything was the way Winston had set up, so it was the same playbook. So they didn't have a new playbook or a new play set up yet. So if it's not working with Simeon, they're going to obviously change back to Hill, but they just haven't practiced anything with him because he's been out too.
Right, he had COVID or something.
But he also has nobody to throw to, just like Simeon did, and I don't know if that's better or worse. Like, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't see them, like, their defense is fantastic. I think they're top 5 D, but I don't know. I don't know if OBJ turns them into a top 5 team to win the champion. Like, I don't think so. I think there's too many good teams in the NFC that they still wouldn't be there. They'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they'll be a team to.
I think it's very open right now.
It is.
You got Tampa, which has been stomped by the Rams. You have the Rams, which have now been stomped by the Titans. AFC is super open.
Titans were stomped by the Jets.
They were talking about it today. The amount of teams that are 5-3 is crazy. It's the most they've ever had in the NFL. Like, the parity across the board, it's just so open that they've never seen this before, which makes for great football because it's going to make it especially with an extra week, it's going to bring it down to the stretch where you're going to have some really meaningful games come later on in the season. And then the fact that
it's almost like
the fact that you only have one
La Familia League.
Yeah, the fact that you only have one bye team. I mean, everyone's fighting for that, and all the teams that had a chance to solidify themselves as the best team screwed that up this week too.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. The Rams had a walk in the park. All they had to do was win, and get back in there with Arizona. And now Arizona's got a 2-game lead on them all, and it looks like Arizona's going to walk away with it. And they did that without their starting quarterback and starting wide receiver, and they lost their starting running back on the first 2 plays of the game. Phil, you know about that, right?
I do, and I still don't have faith in Arizona. I just think San Fran's so much worse. The beer goggles are starting to wear off. I'm starting to sober up a little bit. I'm starting to question management's moves. I'm starting to question play calling. I mean, aside from the injuries, which suck, I mean, we get all of our offensive weapons back, but then we lose 2 safeties, right? It's tough. But what can you do? I still don't see Arizona as being a threat. Maybe I just can't get past the fact that it's Arizona.
Yeah.
And it still just hasn't dawned on me that they're the best team in my division.
Yeah.
But San Francisco sucked this week.
A lot of teams sucked this week, man, not just San Fran. So don't worry about that. There was, we were just a little bit better than the Lions. That's all.
The Raiders sucked too.
Lions didn't suck this week.
Has it been one too many distractions now for the Raiders?
Honestly, the Raiders
That's it? Is there going to be more?
John Gruden to start, then he got fired. The Henry Ruggs accident. Then I heard about a player on Instagram or Twitter that was posting pictures of himself with guns and saying he was going to shoot people. It's just they released 2 first.
They cut another
picks.
First rounder.
I don't know they just signed Deshaun Jackson, and I don't know what he's going to do there. I mean, it's just a mess in there. I don't have faith in that team anymore. They look so good starting off. Now you lost to the Giants. That's another upset this week that everyone was like, "Oh, this should be an easy one." I mean, yeah, they're in trouble. They're just going the wrong way too, and we'll see. This could be. If they have to get a new coach coming in, maybe new management, who knows? And that means this could be the end of Carr over there, and they're going to rebuild that team and start over there too. So,
yeah, I think it's exactly what Phil said. It's just finally hit that too many distractions, and now they're just falling in shambles.
Is it the truth that maybe there shouldn't have been a team in Vegas? Is the bright lights too much for these players to live there and play football? Because, I mean, if you ask any of the people that go into Vegas, the records and the way people play, like anytime they were playing near or in Vegas, any sport across the board, I know there's not many teams from there, but I'm saying that when they were close, whenever they'd go there, they'd obviously go partying. The players would go partying, they'd go out the night before, this, that, and their games were never very good. And with us being from Toronto, we get that too a lot, where a lot of the NBA players, when they come here, they go partying hard the night before. There's a reason why when they play Toronto on a day game the next day, some teams don't do very well, because of the fact that, they're out partying the night before because of the party life that we have here. And they get a lot of perks here. And then all of a sudden they do a horrible game, but that's 1 night, 2 nights. You're living in Vegas. I've been there. That city doesn't sleep. I mean, you can get anything you need or don't need. And yeah, I mean, like could maybe it's not a place for these players to be handling it. Maybe they need more supervision. I don't know. But, I know the hockey team doesn't seem too bad, but I mean, the football players are a little different than hockey players, the way I see things. So,
well, and it's always these young kids. Like Ruggs is 21. Arnett here is, I think, 20 years old. He was a rookie last year. So these guys need some mentorship and someone to kind of take it easy, guys. Like, you have your fun later, but do it in moderation.
But no one's ever lived and played in Vegas. This is all first for all of them, right?
That's true.
Like who could mentor these guys to give them examples?
Bill Belichick.
No, he would scare that.
If the Patriots were based out of Vegas, you would not have these problems.
Well, that's another problem. The
agree.
problem is it's the Raiders, and the Raiders are a disaster in organizational wise to begin with the adults that are supposed to be running the team. So you're right. It
feels like my whole life you go sign with the Raiders when you just don't care anymore.
And
just look at Mark Davis when you see him. Like, it just looks like he's got no hand. He's just hands off the steering
more
wheel
money
of his
than
team.
Knowledge.
Yeah, he's just lost. Like
that, he does. I laugh when I see him because he just looks like
he just
he's out
looks
to lunch every time you see him. Like he has no idea what's going on. So
he looks older than his dad before he died. Like
Oh,
looks bad. Like he's
well, I
bad
remember
out.
John Gruden was hand selected by him, and
Yeah.
he looked up to John Gruden because John Gruden was there with his dad beforehand and all that. So like that must have hit too. And
Get the same haircut.
Do you think that the John Gruden thing, like we brought up before, when basically all this has kind of started to dwindle away once he had to resign because of what he did, and of course that's the right thing, but do you think he had some sort of control on these guys?
I think he must have for sure.
I'm sure more.
Being in Vegas, like he knows, like he's a lot of guys probably would come in the offseason and first thing, guys, this is Vegas. Take it easy. Don't party. Don't drink. Don't do drugs. Whatever. And now that he's gone, the guy who's in charge now, that stuff's probably an afterthought. There's so much going on right now. That's probably 6th or 7th down the list, and they're not even getting to it. So they're forgetting about it, and then stuff happens.
That or the
That's what I
fact that
think.
they say basically our coach did this to us. We don't have a coach. No one cares about us. So why do I care? And they're just going to do whatever they want anyways, right?
Yeah.
There's a bunch there. It's a mess. But yeah.
You lead your division, though. How can you think like that? Like at the
Yeah, for
time,
real.
you were leading your division at 5-2.
Because they're not thinking football, man.
Sad.
There's
state.
too many distractions.
Sad
There's too
state.
many things there that take away from that, and they've never been a I don't remember the last time they were a goal oriented team. When was it? When Gannon was the quarterback? How many years ago was that? When they made it to the
2002.
Super Bowl, and that was like that's the last time they looked like a functioning
2002.
team. Since then, I mean, what have you really seen out of this organization? So.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's true.
But anyways, you guys brought up OBJ. I think that's a very big topic we should talk a little bit about. We're recording this on Tuesday for those, so if anything does happen Wednesday or later on Thursday when this is released, I just wanted to say we're looking at OBJ. He has cleared waivers. He has some teams that he's picked that he would like to go to, and now it's a matter of either who signs him or where he decides to go. So from the news of which teams look to be in the front running, the number one right now are the Seattle Seahawks. There was an interview with the coach there, with Carroll, and he didn't say that he was going to sign him, but basically said he was going to sign him for Russ. It kind of seemed that way, the way he spoke, where he was just like, well, I can't say anything, but you'll just have to wait and see kind of thing. So they look to be the front runners. If they get OBJ, you pair him with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and you get Russ back this week, that could be an interesting pairing for him. The other front runners, you've got, he's come out and said like the Green Bay Packers are at the top of his list. We all know Aaron Rodgers has been looking for a wide receiver to pair with Devontae Adams, I believe, for many years now. So that could be interesting. Who else was on that list? The New England Patriots were on that list as well. I know that Bill Belichick would be able to control the ego of OBJ, I think. I just don't know if he'd want to go to Bill Belichick, but I mean, a lot of people want to play under Bill Belichick. And the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, because they could use a number 2 wide receiver because they haven't had one since Watkins left. And a lot of people are thinking maybe Sammy Watkins was a bigger piece than we all thought he was there. So those are some of the big front runners there. We also spoke, like you said, Phil, the Saints are another one that I heard as well. So he's got.
Does Sammy Watkins play defense for the Chiefs?
No.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I thought he played both sides of the ball for some reason.
No. He
I don't know, but when he was there, at least Mahomes knew how to play
for
football.
some reason,
too.
when he was there, they threw a lot better and made a lot better plays on offense. So
It's true. When Mahomes threw it to Sammy Watkins, it didn't bounce off his head and go right to the other team.
yeah. So for those 2-3 games that he
true.
played, I mean, he got a few points in, and that was how it went. But nonetheless, my question to you guys is, let's play a little bit of pick the spot. Where do you guys see OBJ going? Don't all answer at once. It's okay. We're not on a live show here. It's good.
Where do we want him to go? Best fit or likely projection is different. So I think I would like to see him on the Saints, as we were discussing earlier. I think that team is super desperate for a wide receiver, and he has all the volume opportunity he could ever want there. I think it's possible he lands on a team that we don't expect. Maybe a team like the Colts We've been having
I was
injury
thinking
issues with T.Y. Hilton, or maybe even
What, the Eagles?
anyone jump in here
Eagles?
See,
with an idea. The Eagles, yeah.
Eagles,
so why
maybe,
why
yeah.
didn't any of these
Yeah.
teams though make a claim for him? Why are they sitting back waiting now? I mean,
To the cap hit.
if anybody wanted him,
Yeah,
Because of the cap hit, yeah. They didn't want to
They
pay
had-
for it.
right.
Exactly.
So
About seven.
now
They
they
would have
can
to take
sign
on
him
that
to a different
7.
contract. I guess they'll go a little cheaper
Yeah.
than what they wanted
Yeah.
and go from there. Then you have to look at salary cap, how much he's going to want. In my eyes, though, I think the biggest question is his head. Where is his head at? I mean, we were talking in a group chat of mine today where we have a Green Bay Packer fan, and once the news came out that the Packers were his number one choice, he's like, "Oh, what the heck are the Packers waiting for?" And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at OBJ, and don't get me wrong, I loved OBJ. I've drafted him many times and whatnot, but he got run out of New York. He's a head case. He fought with the goal thing there, the kicking sort of stand there that hit him in the face. He had all that BS that he did on the sidelines. He had the spectacular catch. He started his career there and he did some good things, but he got run out of New York. Goes to Cleveland where everything was supposed to be new and fresh and everything happy again. He's done nothing in 4 years, and he's now been
He didn't even want to be there.
been run out of Cleveland.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So it's like, why does anybody want to pick that up? Like, I mean, and you have no real knowledge of, is he still the guy he used to be? Like, Phil, you already said, he doesn't look like, I don't even know what he can be or not be. I'm assuming he could be a wide receiver 2. I think 100% he could be a wide receiver 3, but I don't think he can be the lead dog anymore. So your Saints suggestion, which for him to get most volume would probably be good to go there. But I just don't know if he can carry the team there. And if he can't carry the team there, that could hurt his value a little bit too. So I think he's got to look at that as well. I think his best spot would be somewhere that's a contending team, that he doesn't have to be the main guy, and that he can kind of just play there smart, like Antonio Brown's doing in Tampa Bay. I think he needs something like that with a little bit of structure. I think his best spot, Seattle looks good. You pair him in between with those wide receivers there, but the problem is he's a prima donna. He's going to want the ball. He's going to always want to be the guy.
Exactly.
Is that going to be a problem if
he said it himself?
Yeah, that could be a problem if he's not getting the ball. I could see KC where he's the number 2, but he'd still be the third option behind Hill and Kelsey. Is that okay for him?
But that's not what he wants, right? He wants to be on a playoff team where he's going to get all of the volume he can get to show off his skills. In Cleveland, he wasn't getting that, so his heart wasn't in it. Don't get me wrong. I am pro players who play hard all the time, regardless of whether they're getting the ball. I'm not a fan of this. I'm just, my head's not in the game crap because I'm not getting the ball. Go out there and block hard and run your routes hard, do all that stuff. But we've come to learn that he is the type of player that needs to be involved and needs to be a focal point and is a bit of a diva. So you need to feed him the ball. So his best situation is a place where he's going to get it.
And that's the only reason why I see your Saints suggestion, and I could see it, and maybe even a suggestion of a team that we're not thinking of right now. But I mean, if I'm looking
Atlanta, maybe
if I'm looking at his career, I'm seeing what it is. I would start looking at Antonio Brown and being like, okay, I think I need to do something like him. Like, do I want to win a championship at this point, or do I want to win that? Like, you've got the accolades. You've already been, named one of the best wide receivers. You've got that catch. You've got all this, but what don't you have? You don't have a Super Bowl. And on top of that, you've never really been to the playoffs to do anything. You've never had that. So why not go to a team like a KC? Why not go to a team like a Seattle that might be, they need some time to get in because they've had such a bad luck with the quarterback situation.
Yes, but Seattle's 3-5 right now. They're going to have to put some major.
They were
work
saying
into
the record,
the
the schedule Seattle has, and if there's a chance they could still get in there and then do some damage. So it's interesting. I'm a little curious to see what he ends up doing. And then you have to also look at it, the GM side of thing, though. Who wants to take a chance on him, and for how much? If it's cheap, I think anybody will take a chance. But if he's coming out saying he wants good money, I don't know if that might narrow down the field a little bit, right? And then there's some teams that if he wants to, like the Packers don't have much cap space. So if he's going to the Packers, it's going to have to be for cheap because, they don't have much to give him to begin with. So there's all kinds of factors in this situation. And I don't know. That last I read was he's going to take his time. I'm wondering, is it he's taking his time or the NFL teams are taking their time? I'm not sure which way it is, but
Detroit needs a wide receiver.
they need everything.
About 3 or 4.
Yeah, but he came out and said that if he goes to a team he doesn't like, he's going to cause issues for that team specifically. So like a Detroit who needs a wide receiver, sure, they're not going anywhere. He's not going to like that. The Eagles, again, I said, like, they're battling for a spot, but I don't know if he'll like that. Like,
It has to be a
if he
playoff
doesn't
team,
go to a team that he wants to go to, like he said today, Green Bay, like we've heard the Saints, where he's going to get a huge volume, he's going to cause problems no matter what. So the limit of those problems, he has to go to a team that he wants to. That's the issue in itself already.
Well, but the other thing is, these players know each other. I guarantee you that a lot of these players are text messaging the Cleveland Browns to find out how he was in the locker room. We've heard reports and stories. He was not a very good teammate. He was not a team player in the locker rooms. There was issues there, this, that, whatever. I mean, if that's what's happening on the outside, are you a team that's basically running to your GM to say, hey, let's go get this guy? Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of baggage there that worries me.
I didn't hear Jarvis Landry defending him.
And that's his best friend.
when they were boys.
Jarvis Landry hasn't said a word. The last time I heard him talk about him was when he got signed and Jarvis Landry were traded, and Jarvis Landry was like, yes, and they had those pictures of the two of them in college together and this, that, whatever. And since then, I've yet to hear anything. So I don't know. I just, part of me is like, is the head problem too much? And maybe nobody brings him in. I mean, someone's got to take a chance on him, because if he could get even close to what he was 4 years ago, I mean, you know, even 70% of the way there, 60%, that's still better than a lot of wide receivers in the league right now. But
with that, where are we going? So like the best spot for that, to see him get to that spot again, I would say is what? Probably Green Bay, having Aaron Rodgers throwing you the ball. Or KC with Mahomes throwing you the ball, right? The situation going to the Saints is great with volume, but you have Trevor Siemian throwing you the ball right now, or Taysom Hill.
I think that,
are you going to become that superstar wide receiver that we know you can be, or that we've seen you be in New York if you're going to a quarterback like that?
It's a good point. I'm sure the quarterback matters.
Sure, I'd factor that in for sure, right? If it's like,
yeah, I'm sure it does. It's probably why Green Bay came up too. It's the Aaron Rodgers factor. Not so much
think about it, Aaron Rodgers
too, because I'm sure he doesn't want to share with Devontae, but he's willing to do that, knowing that Devontae gets 17 targets a game. He'll probably get 7.
Well, but think of it this way: like, there's nobody after Devontae. He would just slot right in, and he'd pick up whatever other targets are there. And if you're double teaming Devontae, that's going to open OBJ up. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense.
The Packers can find a way to show,
right? It makes sense.
And then you have Rodgers throwing you the ball.
But even in KC, it makes sense.
And if Rodgers can't save that guy, he's done.
Exactly. Yes, it could be a huge thing that if he doesn't turn out good with one of these big name quarterbacks
later,
that's
who's
going to want him next year,
right?
then?
This could be a 1-year thing. He signs for the rest of this season, so he needs someone that's going to help propel him for his next contract.
Exactly.
And if he doesn't get that, he's going to be in trouble too. So I mean, that factors in, and I'm sure the agents are looking at it. So, and that's why those other teams are up there. I mean, if Antonio Brown wasn't the wide receiver 3 in Tampa Bay, I would have said Tampa Bay right off the bat. But I mean, they've already got 3 guys, so it's not going there. He's not going to Dallas. He's not going to going to Minnie. He's not going to, you know, what other contending teams are there that could use a
Rams?
Atlanta, maybe.
Again,
Atlanta's in the playoff hunt, and they need the wide receiver. And Matt Ryan's been playing pretty
well.
The
only way he goes to Atlanta though is if they pay more money than the other teams. I don't think he goes to Atlanta because he chose Atlanta, right? That's the other factor.
No, it's probably because it was a final option.
Yeah. So I think they're gonna go to KC, they're gonna go to Seattle, they're gonna go to all those teams first and say, okay, do you want them? How much? See what it is, and then they're gonna narrow.
Cleveland needs a receiver.
Yeah.
Cleveland does need a receiver. I wonder how he'd be there.
Bears can use a receiver.
It's true, actually.
They're not a team, though.
I don't think he'd be too happy working with a rookie quarterback.
Look, they have a receiver. They have a guy. His name is Allen Robinson, and they don't even know how to use him.
Do they know he plays for the Bears?
Allen Robinson?
Do the Bears know he's
They
under
know
contract?
he's there. They just don't know how to use him. I don't understand. They just,
Darnell Mooney to the moon over there.
To the moon.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't wait for what's the name there? Oh my gosh, we just said his name.
Allen
Thank you,
Robinson.
Allen Robinson. I can't wait for him to get out of Chicago just so he can go to a new team and see what he can do, because
San Francisco.
anybody, it doesn't matter who it is. They've ruined that guy's
this
career
point.
over there. He's had two shitty teams between Jacksonville and Chicago with no quarterback. I mean, if he just gets a half decent quarterback, the sky's the limit for that guy. And he's only getting older though, so he's only got a few more years left. But anyways, that's our take on OBJ. I'm curious to see where he goes. We got some good options there. But again, we're all in the dark. We have no idea. So many different ideas of where it could be. I'm sure everyone else does it listening in. So we'll wait and see. And hopefully by next week, we'll have a resolution to that. But yeah, what else do we want to talk about today, gentlemen? We had some other interesting news today. We found out that Carolina quarterback Sam Darnold looks to have had a fractured scapula, and he could be potentially out for weeks. So what does this mean for what does it mean for Carolina, first of all? And is it, I can't remember his first name, but is it Walker? Peter Walker? What's his name? Pete Walker?
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
Is he fantasy
It
worthy?
means that Matt Rule can get out from underneath the shadow of Sam Darnold and not have to worry about forcing him in the game.
Yeah.
Why he wasn't benched 3 weeks ago, I have no idea. But it's the PJ Walker show, and it couldn't possibly be any worse than the Sam Darnold episode.
Do we have faith?
Wait, what
in
about
him?
Matt Barkley?
No, I think PJ Walker's the
He's
guy they said that would start.
PJ Walker,
He's an okay quarterback.
XFL.
I'd rather have Colt McCoy, but
Sure.
Colt McCoy.
Rather have-
Is he fantasy relevant? Would you guys be picking this guy up on waivers this week? Would you guys be even looking at him, or do we need to see more?
I don't think a quarterback with the Carolina Panthers have been fantasy relevant for a good 4 or
That's
5
not
weeks.
true.
now.
Darnold, 4 or 5 weeks now. Yes, Darnold was good for the first 4 weeks of the
Yeah,
season,
at
and
the
then all of a
beginning,
sudden
sure,
it died.
first
But-
2 weeks.
They
he
haven't
ran
done
for 2
anything.
touchdowns.
I just wish I traded
Yeah.
all of my DJ Moore stock when I had the chance. I only traded a little bit of it.
You did. You got a little bit.
There's another league I had him in that I should have
Eh.
jumped on it as well. So, but yeah, no, they've just spiraled. I mean, with CMC back, they're a different team. Hopefully, they'll get back to what they're doing. But once CMC goes out, that whole team is just like it's like they don't know what to do anymore.
For
So,
real.
but yeah, so that basically we're telling you do not hold your breath on PJ Walker. But if you're in dire need and everyone else is injured and it's between him and Jared Goff, I'd start PJ Walker.
Yeah, is Jared Goff even a quarterback at this point?
He's a quarterback, not a good one, but he's a quarterback.
Oh,
Speaking of quarterbacks and Lions quarterbacks, let's talk about an ex-Lions quarterback, Mr.
Bobby Lane,
I
Mike
don't even
McMahon, Joey Harrington,
John
Oh
Kitna.
man, no! Let's talk about a good ex-Lions quarterback.
Scott Mitchell.
You got all our listeners right now looking at their phones, trying to think, who is this guy talking about? I don't know who any of these guys are. No, I'm
Rodney
talking
Pete,
Matt
Andre Ware?
Stafford, Frank. Your buddy Matt Stafford, your favorite quarterback
Forgot who
at
that
one
guy is. I
point.
don't know.
He
That was a long time ago.
put up a giant dud on Sunday night. It was rough to watch. Although the Spinorama interception, that was interesting. I've never seen that one
I've
before.
seen that before. I've seen it before.
You've seen it before? Okay, I don't watch a lot of Lions games.
I think
so-
I've seen that
You don't watch
exact
enough Lions
play
games, right?
from Stafford before.
from Stafford too.
Yeah, but instead of it being a sack, like he was throwing it away to avoid being sacked for the safety, right? I think it was in the red zone, and he was getting sacked, and he just flung it, and it was a pick.
Well, Frank would know firsthand because he's seen him a lot better than the rest of us. But that was a 2 interception game. He did not look good. It was a dud. We get that. But now this is another year with him throwing at least 2 interceptions. I believe now he's done that every year of his career. And people are starting to question, can this guy lead this team if he's putting up games like this? This was a must-win game for them to stay with the Arizona Cardinals. They came out and did not play very well. Again, the whole team didn't. It wasn't just him, but he was a big part of that. And people are starting to question it. Was it him that he was better than Detroit, or was it Detroit? And is that what he's carrying over here? Do you guys think Matt Stafford can win in the playoffs? Who obviously hasn't yet, but do you think he can with the Rams?
Yes, he can. I mean, he did have a bad game. I've seen a lot of bad games, but that's because he's had a bad team. You know, sometimes you have a good team, they have bad games. Like, it's going to happen. And if he doesn't have the whole team supporting him, he's not going to go work miracles. Those big comeback games, his defense always made big plays and then gave him the chance. If they're not doing that for him, he's prone to make mistakes when he's forcing stuff like that. I mean, I've seen him have a lot of problems where he stares down receivers at times, or like he'll just try and not take the sack like that and just throw it away. I've seen that many times. So, I mean, it's stuff that he's got to work on here and there. But if you factor it in, like one game out of, 8, that was bad, I think the odds are in his favor that he's going to do well.
But if he does that in the playoffs, they're not winning. You can't make those kind of mistakes in the playoffs.
I mean, it depends who he's playing, and it can happen anytime. So,
right? And assuming that by the time you get to the playoffs, it's not bad teams. It's top 7 that are there, right? Top 6, whatever it is. And those are usually the better defenders, better everything. So you got to be on your game.
I mean, you live and die by the sword, though.
Yeah.
I mean, are those plays any different from what we saw Patrick Mahomes do last year on his way to the Super Bowl, or the year before that when he won the Super Bowl? It just so happened that when he flung it up into the air 150 yards down the field, it happened to land in between 3 defenders in Tyreek Hill's hands. Or it would bounce off a defender and Kelsey would catch it. Or sometimes things just go your way. And when you're a gunslinger type quarterback and your team is not playing well to begin with, you are almost guaranteed to turn the ball over in that game. That's when I think when you get into the playoffs, you need to have a strong coach that pulls your quarterback aside and says, look, I know you're a gunslinger, but if you're going, like, you have a first quarter where you're just totally struggling, we need to simplify things. We need to do some check downs, some quick throws, some screen passes, get the run game going, whatever it is to slow the game down and calm the quarterback down, because as soon as he starts acting brash, it's bound to lead to mistakes.
And Stafford's a guy too that
sometimes you win that way.
Stafford's a guy too that once something, he throws a pick, then he gets flustered, he gets shaken up, and then he saw it, he threw another one. Just on the next pass was the pick 6
right away.
So
he almost gets so excited.
Yeah,
he's like, I need revenge for that mistake I just made, and then he stares a guy down, like you said, and he's like, oh, I can fit that window, I can fit that. I'm a great quarterback, and he's off by that inch. You heard in it. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Joe Burrow. He was talking about his pick against Denzel Ward, and he's talking about how NFL throwing windows are always super small. It's the best of the best. Well, sometimes you force it.
Yep.
Right? You go on tilt.
Yep.
And you make a dumb play.
I mean, I think that the question we're talking about here is this one game from Stafford a problem for the playoffs? I mean, if we're going to say that, as much as I don't want to bring it up, is this one game that the Dak just had against the Broncos going to be an issue for us in the playoffs, right?
Absolutely. You guys are
everyone's going to have that one game.
The difference with that is that we've seen Dak play well, and we know Dak can carry the team and whatnot.
Yeah, but so was Matthew Stafford
he's
this
been
year
on
with the Rams.
Detroit. We've never seen it yet.
Good.
We've only seen 8 games out of him. That's why this is coming up, because Matt Stafford's never won a playoff game. Matt Stafford's never been to that stage where, all this comes down on him, right? This was a primetime game. They needed the win. They already saw all the teams ahead of them lost. They did not come out to play ready to go. Again, you're right. It could be a whole overall team thing, but he needs to be better in a game like that. And so that starts to put the question into people's head that says, wait a second, is it, we took him out of Detroit. Detroit was never very good, but he made those guys win games, obviously made them better, but he's doing the same things that he was doing there here now. And throwing 2 interceptions in a game is what he did regularly in Detroit. He's doing it again here.
This is probably new for him, though, too, being with the Rams. He is accountable now.
That's it, yeah.
There may have been an aspect where in Detroit he wasn't as accountable because everyone else sucked. So even though he would make his mistakes here and there, he did so much good for the team, it was easy to overlook. And we don't know how he was dealt with in Detroit. We don't know how the coaches talked to him. We don't know if they coddled him. We don't know any of that. So this will be a great indicator on how he moves forward. Does Sean McVay take him aside and ream him out in front of the team? Does he take him aside by himself and do a one-on-one? Like, how they deal with this loss and the performance as a team will indicate later what kind of quarterback Stafford really is. Because you make a good point. We've never seen what it's like for Stafford to be on a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We know what to expect from him. We just don't know how he's going to deal with adversity.
Yeah, and
there's high pressure in
and
LA.
let's look.
This was a primetime game.
Yeah. So their only 2 losses so far in the season were to the Cardinals and now to the Titans, which are both fantastic teams, both playoff contending teams,
top 5 teams.
Teams. So I mean, and then on top of that, they've beaten. When you look at their schedule, they beat the Buccaneers, they beat the Colts, they beat the Seahawks, and then the rest of their schedule was shit. But I mean, for the most part, they had some pretty tough teams, and they're right in there. So yeah, it is an easy schedule. Yeah, he's got to get better, but we're gonna find out because down the stretch they've got. Coming up, they've got your 49ers are not very good, but they got the Packers, they got the Cardinals again, they got the Seahawks with Russell back, they'll have the Vikings, the Ravens, and then the 49ers again. So they got, you know what I mean? There's going to be some big games that we're going to be able to really see.
That's the Monday nighter too. Yeah. Can Aaron Donald go on the Peyton show or something? I guess that would happen last night. Who was on Peyton last night?
He wasn't on this week.
Stafford was on last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I went on to go look because every week they've had the loser on there, and they weren't on this week. And I was like, what the heck?
Maybe Peyton and Eli had something to do. They couldn't make it. Who knows? But yeah, that was 6 straight weeks.
But I'm not looking
every
forward
single
to the
person that went on
night.
lost the week right after. So I thought that was an interesting stat that came out. So maybe no one wants to go on the show anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. For what it's worth, Stafford's 6-14 in primetime games. All time.
Wow, that explains a lot. He's like Kirk Cousins.
See?
There you go.
But then again, Detroit.
That's right. Of course, you have to factor. But that's why people are asking the question: is it Detroit or is it Stafford? And that question is starting to come. The same question that came out with Stafford with Cousins. That question with Cousins was the same.
It was a Thursday game. No?
What was it Cousins or was it Washington? He brought the same crap to freaking Minnesota where he still can't win on primetime. So, you know, it still lingers. And I mean, that could be something that goes forward. And when you get to the playoffs, those are all primetime games. You know what I mean? So
every single one of them.
Actually, I heard this year they're gonna incorporate primetime Monday night playoff games this year, apparently. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Wow.
So we'll have to see what happens, but yeah, that was a big topic of discussion with what happened there. I mean, I think for regular season the Rams will be fine, Stafford will be okay, but I really do want to see what happens. There's a few big games he's got, so we'll have to see. There's another Monday nighter I saw there, so we'll have to see what happens and how he does. And but he's got to bounce back, and he's got the options, he's got the players, he's got everything there to succeed. But you know that there was a wrinkle there. The Titans showed you that there's a way that you can get to him and get under his skin, and if you can do that, but they played fantastic that game. So, speaking of games this week, a big topic of discussion that came up was the NFL refereeing. I don't know if you guys watched. How much of it you watched, but there was some really bad calls. There's been bad calls since the beginning of the season. I mean, I could go back. I watched a lot of the Cowboy games. I know I'm biased, but there were some plays, some calls this season where you're just like, really? Why was that called? Why wasn't that called? I mean, some for, some against the Cowboys. I've seen it.
The Lions had one.
The Lions have had them. I've seen them in all kinds of games. And so you got the conspiracy theorist people coming out and they're saying, okay, is there some point fixing that's going on, that they're setting these up to keep the scores the way closer that they need to be? Because a lot of these spreads now, when you start looking at the spread versus, you know, what the scores are finishing to, they're getting really close to that point spread. Some of them, you know, finishing really like, you know, half point off where it's like, wow, that was, you know,
yeah, they're close.
And then you got some that are the referees, you know, taking the game into their hands and taking it out of the players' hands. Like I believe it was the Sunday night, where the player was called for taunting because he just made a tackle.
That was crazy.
He turns around trying to run to his bench, and the referee hipped him, and the referee called a penalty on him.
Monday night, yeah.
Pittsburgh, Chicago.
And I'm just like, what? You put your hip out into the player, and then you gave him a penalty flag because of that? Like,
he was already reaching for the flag before that.
Yeah, the penalty was definitely for the taunting.
Yeah.
And I do agree that it was a taunting penalty.
by the
but
book.
the whole taunting situation is a big load of poppycock, in my opinion. It is an absolute fucking joke. The fact that you can give a player a 15-yard personal foul
First down
on walking and looking at somebody, not even like gesturing, just staring at them and walking back to your bench is a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
This is professional sports. It's a contact sport. People get emotional.
And that
Like,
kid
I
just got called
understand you
up.
don't want people Allen Iverson over people, right?
Yeah.
Stepping over them or dropping their pants down or teabagging. Like, let's be honest. But give me a fucking break. This is bananas.
Yeah, that Randy Moss, when he tried to pretend to pull his pants down, was hilarious in the end zone. I just got to say that.
Pretending, I agree. Pretending's
but
fine. Like, all that
speaking of your
celebration is
contact
great.
sport comment there, is it? Because look at how these quarterbacks are getting away with this roughing the passer crap where they're being, it was like he blew him over with his breath and he got a roughing the passer call. Like, it's
Escorted him
crazy.
to the
And they're
ground.
allowed
Right
to
this
break
way,
other
sure.
people's ankles.
You know what I mean? Like,
Or
it's
Brian Burns over
it's
there.
nuts,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's like, what's going on? And they're just allowing
Although-
this. Sorry, Nick?
Yeah, although Fields didn't get the call when he got hit to the head on Monday
Yeah,
either.
exactly.
Because he's a rookie.
That game was brutal.
It's-
There was even a call where Fields went and rushed out of the pocket to his right, and they called Chicago on a block for being outside of the zone. One of their
They have to have
offensive
equal
linemen
guys
were
on the
outside
inside.
of them.
Yeah.
But he was in the zone when he made the block, yet and they lost a touchdown because of that. So that game all over was just really, really bad reffing.
It's been bad all over the place. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're doing. I agree with Phil. This penalty that they added in for taunting is useless.
Yeah.
It's like the no fun league. You know what I mean? It's not the NFL.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
It's they take everything out. Like, okay, fine, you don't want them to taunt or you don't want them to insult them or whatever. But I mean, that's part of the game. Like, I've played sports. I've jawed back and forth, and yeah, okay, I get a warning, walk back to my bench or this, that, whatever. As long as I'm not, racial slurring people or I'm not telling them I'm gonna, kill them or this, that, whatever. I mean, I don't see what the point is. It's part of the game. I don't get, as long as I'm not telling him that I'm going to do something to his mother or this, that, whatever. Like, what I mean? Like,
and I mean, NFL, if you want to keep it classy and you want to slap people with $10,000 fines for taunting, go for it. But keep it out of the fucking sport.
yeah,
It's
it's
not affect games.
Keep the flags off the field.
it's one of those things. I don't know.
Yeah, especially when you're giving a 15-yarder.
Game-changing against a
last
game-changing
Monday,
play.
It helped
it's
Pittsburgh
a
get the field
huge
goal.
impact.
That was a
It's
third and
huge
long.
impact.
Third and long sack.
Yeah.
The kid was like just off the practice squad. So you imagine how excited this guy was. How does he not take on? Not even like, it wasn't even flagrant. It was just staring at them like, oh, look what I did. And that's it.
Well, but it was for the roundhouse kick, no?
No,
Wasn't
I
it?
don't think it was
No.
even that. He was just staring at
It
the
was
bench.
because he
before
continued
that.
to
He was just
stare
like
at
glaring
the
at them.
bench.
Yeah.
Like, and backed
It's
up.
because he kept walking towards the bench.
Yeah.
They let the roundhouse kick
The
go.
roundhouse kick was fine.
So then
That's
why not let
worse.
the whole thing go?
Yeah.
Yeah, if
And
you're
then
gonna
you go
let
and
that go.
you hip check the guy, which
Yeah.
whatever. Maybe you were trying to get his attention. Maybe you wanted to have words with him and say, "Hey, this is why I'm flagging you because you took it too far." Regardless,
I don't know.
that ref better be fined.
And
Agreed.
then you got stuff.
The ref needs to be
But-
slapped with a 5-figure
But then
fine.
you got stuff that happens.
That's unsportsmanlike conduct.
that they don't let go. Like the Cowboy game last week, CeeDee Lamb was tackled by, I can't remember which player was on Minnesota, just almost out of bounds before they scored the game-winning touchdown. And you can see it on camera because they have it on the NFL Network camera replays. The player then tried to choke CeeDee Lamb. He had his arm around his neck, and he was pulling back on his neck. The NFL went out and watched it and said they deemed it no, it wasn't enough. The players didn't, the referees did nothing about it. Like, it's like you let something like that go, but then because someone stared at a bench, you gave him a penalty for whatever. Like, it's like they have they're
It's
they're
too
mixed up on
inconsistent.
everything. It's screwed up. It's like,
And it's the inconsistencies, like Frank said, that brings us back to this bullshit about conspiracy theorists thinking that they're manipulating the point spread, which, in my opinion, is a load of crap. This is the NFL, right? You would need some real concrete evidence to prove to me that there's some fucking points manipulation in the NFL. But you can see why when you're so goddamn inconsistent. It makes no sense. Whereas one play you can miss, like you said, CeeDee Lamb getting his neck broken, or Mac Jones specifically scissoring Brian Burns there, grabbing his ankle, twisting him down, kicking him in the knee, tackling him with his feet. No call there.
Figure 4 leg lock.
But you get a taunting flag. Or for some reason, you saw a hold within the first 10 seconds of the play over there on the left side of the screen. Yeah. Meanwhile, everything happened on the right side of the screen, and it was a 77-yard touchdown bomb, but that gets called back because of a tiny hold in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen.
Yeah, nothing to do with the play.
Funny how you saw that.
Yeah. I think that's happened about 9 times already.
The whole thing, I mean, that's regular. That's not going to change. That we know that already, and that drives us nuts because no one ever sees it on TV. But yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's a hold. A hold is a hold. You're going to call it fine. But
if it's a line hold, I get it. But I mean, when you're holding a wide receiver, whose job on that play was to block, and there's a 77-yard touchdown that you're calling back because of it.
But come on, gets the guy open to make that play.
They made that play or that call before the 77-yard touchdown. I'm not disagreeing with that. If you're going to make a call of a hold, you make a call of a hold. That's fine. I don't care about that one as much. I know it bothers people. That's fine, but.
I understand it's a rule. I agree with you there. But I mean, how do you see something that's not a part of the play, but you miss the stuff
that's what I'm talking about. Or how do you call things differently? I mean, these quarterbacks that are getting hit, it's a tackle sport. They have to hit the quarterback. Okay. If you hit the quarterback at the ankles, fine. You call that every single time because you hit the guy at the ankles. I get that. But if you guys are going to try and get the quarterback, he's making the throw and you're just about to touch him and you push him to the ground. Come on. You cannot call that roughing the passer. All these quarterbacks are now basically turning their heads to the referee to say, okay, I got hit. You're going to call it now every single time. And then on top of that, you get superstar guys like a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers or someone that'll get the call versus the rookie guys who are new that aren't getting the call. So it's we have that problem too. And that shouldn't be there either. It should be the same across the board. This is not the NBA where the superstars only get the calls versus the other guys. You make the call for what you see, not for who it is.
What I like about the NBA is how they have the double fouls, where they have the flagrant one and the flagrant two.
Fouls.
If the NFL had something like that, where if they deemed it a flagrant one, okay, you're getting a flag for yourself personally, kind of like a yellow card in soccer. Exactly. But it doesn't affect the play. There's no yards lost, no nothing. You get 2 of those, then you can get a personal foul for 15 yards.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. It's
Maybe that would affect the game less. I don't know how you would work it out in football, but I think this is something that should be considered, right? Something where you could deem a penalty where it either hits the guy in his pocketbook for being a jackass or it's a warning, right? But every little thing like a taunt or my O-line hits my running back hits the defensive end in the ankle, and he trips and his pinky gets caught in the guy's face mask. That's a 15-yard penalty. Sometimes little things.
Yeah, no.
Anything that happens after the play shouldn't affect the play. In my
Agreed.
opinion. It should be a fine, if anything, or like you said, that whole system with the second strike.
I think they should.
I like that.
They should allow, even if it's a penalty, you should get the yardage or whatever it is you were getting on some of those things. Because I feel bad for those running backs that go get a 15-yard carry, rush the ball, go through 8 guys, get destroyed, and then all of a sudden, hold 5 yards back over there, and now you got to go back and you lost. What if you get 15 yards?
Kick return,
killed yourself for
kick return. The guy's gone, and then 20 yards behind, the guy blocks in the back, and then it's coming back. From the spot of the foul, 15 yards.
Poor guy ran 99 yards.
Jeez.
It had nothing to do with the play. So,
and I understand it's kind of hard to change that rule because holding a specific player really can shape the play.
Oh yeah.
Right. You grab one person, you pull him out of his spot, boom, you have 100-yard play. It can happen.
So,
but I mean, if it's not, if you can judge that it doesn't affect the play, put that shit back in your pocket.
That play was
right. I mean, there's an illegal block in the back by the gunner on the far left side of the field, and it's a 1-on-1, and every other player on the field is running up the right-hand side, but you're going to call that? Come on.
But see, that's what crazy. They're supposed to do, though. That's okay, right? That's what they're there for. I mean, you want to change the actual rules in the NFL. we're not going to be able to do that as much as you want to,
Of
right?
course.
We're just talking about the fact that the rules that are
I
in
just think
place,
if-
they're not even doing a good job at calling the crap that's in
But
place.
that's the thing. Is
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
about their own personal judgment, right? They can't call PI properly. Okay, one time it's pass interference. The next time it's not even close. The next time it's incidental contact. The next time it's like, oh, he was looking for the ball, right?
Didn't turn
Oh,
his
they were
head.
both hand checking. It's different from every officiating crew. It depends on which
Yeah.
team is favored.
Yeah, it's all subjective.
No, I agree. I agree. I remember the Cowboys lost to Tampa Bay because of that PI call. I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, he pushed off. Like, it wasn't a push off. Like, he pushed our guy to the floor. No call. Because it was Tom Brady throwing to Chris Godwin. But then the next game that the Cowboys play the Chargers a few games later, I mean, their quarterback got was it their quarterback? Yeah. Or our quarterback. There was a play
Herbert?
where they called him down when he's in midair trying to throw the ball out of play. He's still in midair. He hasn't been knocked down yet, and they called him down in midair. And I've never seen that before in my life. And I'm just sitting there like, what just happened? Like, it was good for the Cowboys, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I've never seen that. That shouldn't have been called. I don't understand why you call that or how you call that. And it's like, okay. And then you're wondering.
That's a stupid rule now with the quarterback. If the quarterback is running,
Once he goes
as
down.
soon as he it doesn't matter if he's going forward or if he's sliding. As soon as he goes to the ground, the play is dead. That happened with Heineke in that game. He was clearly diving for the goal line.
Okay, but
jumping
Frank,
forward.
that's
He was
to the
diving
ground.
for the goal line.
Okay, but that's to the ground. I understand that. The defender was about to get to Herbert, the Chargers quarterback. He's in midair, literally trying to throw the ball, hasn't had a chance to release it. The referee calls it, and then the ball goes. And I'm like, that was a regular play. Like, he wasn't down yet, but they called him down somehow by contact. Like, by I was just like, it was just
Safety
weird.
of the quarterback.
Forward
Was he gonna get
progress
crushed?
down or whatever it was. Or
Was he going to get crushed?
Yeah,
Unabated?
they said his forward progress was
he
stopped.
was he
That's
wasn't
what it
he was
on
going to
that
go
play.
down. Like, it was going to be a sack if he didn't throw. But if he threw the ball, it would have just been him throwing the ball away, and he was.
But he
gonna
was
get
behind
hit.
the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
I'd have to say.
It was really weird.
Man.
Man. It was really weird. Anyways, nonetheless, I think the NFL needs to figure out something with this officiating. I think this taunting rule should go. And maybe there's some other rules they can clean up, like we've talked about and whatnot. But they need to do
I
something.
They
hate
need
the
to
illegal
stop.
man.
They need to stop paying these good referees so much money to be on TV.
Maybe
That's
maybe
the
that's
problem. Okay, because all the good refs have now moved to television because they make so much more money.
Oh. I hate the illegal man downfield one where they don't even throw to that guy.
Yeah.
But you know,
yeah.
he's downfield, so now we
But
have
he
to
can
call him.
block.
Like,
But he
what
can
the
block,
hell?
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But again, those are rules in the NFL. That's how they are, right? That's nothing we could do.
I
You
get
know what
it,
I mean?
but
Those,
I'm just saying
those are
that
things
one's the
we
worst
don't
when
like.
the play goes.
But this argument is just like within the rules that they've made. These referees cannot call it properly with what they've put, and that's the problem. If you're going to make the rules,
exactly.
fine. We got to go by them. Everyone does, but it's got to be consistent. There's no consistency, and that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, but it happens in every league.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Look at the NHL as well, where
And I would-
in the regular season it's one way called.
Oh, yeah.
In the playoffs, it's a whole
No
different
play- no
ballgame and
penalties.
nothing's
But
called.
But
you
right?
you know
that's
that's
gonna
happening. Yeah,
happen
that's
in the
right.
NHL.
You know it.
Agreed,
right?
But
Why don't
again,
they
it's
just do
still
that
same
throughout the
thing.
entire
Here we
football
have
season?
no idea which referee's calling
Yeah.
what this week and what new rule is going to pop out of nowhere or new non-call or call. Like it's getting crazy. It's becoming a problem, and we'll see what they do. But they're basically handling and becoming a problem for the outcome of these games, and that's what's happening. And that's, again, this is why the conspiracy theorists are coming out saying that maybe there is some match fixing somewhere in down the line, because these point spreads are getting very close. And it's like, how is it that Vegas is so close on these spreads? And yet, the where the big money is where it goes the other way. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see what they do,
That's fair.
and we'll go from there. So, but anyways, gentlemen, that's all the list of topics I had for today. I think we should get into our picks. Phil, do you have an updated score? No, none. Okay. Well, then
Oh, I did. Well,
He's
no,
occupied,
Sam
he's
won the
occupied.
week last.
Sam
week.
won
We
the
know
week
that
last
much.
week. We don't want to. We
That's
don't
all
want to
we
say
know,
that. So
yeah.
we won't talk about last week.
Yeah, I have updated
That's okay.
scores. Sorry, I had to mic myself. I was coughing. Choked on my drink. Yeah, so the winner last week was Sam. 10-4.
Ooh.
10-4.
Frank and I did horribly.
Yeah.
And James and Nick were right around the middle of the pack.
So
Wait,
So
can
the
I hear
current leader
Frank's
is
score?
still-
'Cause
Do we want to?
I want to hear Frank's
You want to
score.
hear Frank's
No.
score?
You want to hear Frank's
Never
score?
mind.
I have it here somewhere. I must have lost it.
No,
in the
it's okay.
papers.
You're attacking my, it's a public
If
image.
you want to know what Frank's score was, it'll be on our Instagram page. But Nick
Nice
still
plug, nice
leads
plug.
34-22 is his record. So he's 2 games up on Jags.
All right, Nikki, that's
Let's
good. That's
go.
good. So we'll see if I can catch some ground this week. All right, let's get into our picks, gentlemen. We are heading into week 10 of the NFL season. I haven't looked at any of these games, so hopefully we got some good ones.
Me either.
Starting off Thursday night, we've got the 6-2 Baltimore Ravens at the 2-7 Miami Dolphins in Miami. Nick, where are you going?
I'll go first. I will go the Baltimore Ravens.
Sure you will.
Yeah, that's an
I
easy
will also
one.
take Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah, we're not doing spreads.
No,
right?
no, we're just going with the win. I don't think anyone's going.
We can't even get
Unless
wins,
Frank
let
needs to
alone
catch up.
spread.
So, Frank, are you going
Spreads
the
would
Dolphins?
be
Give me the
easier at
spreads.
this
Yeah,
rate. I think spreads would be easier.
Frank, you going Dolphins? Because you got to catch up.
Dolphins with the spread.
with the spread.
Dolphins at the spread.
Dolphins to cover, but Baltimore to win.
All right, Baltimore across the board. That was easy. Next game, 1:00 on Sunday. We got the freaking Bills get another easy matchup this week. Buffalo at the Jets. 5-3.
Is it an easy matchup, though?
Hey, don't say easy.
I mean,
the
it
Jets
was before.
caused problems.
Is Mike White playing? Mike White MVP?
Apparently, Mike White
I think he is
and
gonna play, they
Wilson
said.
are both available to play. They haven't announced who's going to start yet, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, no, Wilson is available to practice,
Which means
they don't know if he's going to play yet.
My boy Robert Saleh is going to start the right quarterback.
I'm saying Mike White then.
It
Mike
doesn't
White.
matter which one he
Yeah.
starts. Buffalo will win this game because they need to make a statement after losing last week.
All right, James is taking Buffalo. Nobody else is taking the Jets.
I take
No, we're not.
Yeah, Buffalo to win. Jets to cover, but Buffalo to win.
Jets to cover again.
All
Okay.
right. The 6-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the 2-6 Washington football team. I am taking the Bucs off the bye with some rest and Brady having time to figure this out. Anybody going Washington? Anybody?
Nope.
No.
I'm thinking we should start
another
doing
one.
the spreads, though. We'll have more variation.
Another one.
Yep.
4-4 Falcons at the 6-2 Dallas Cowboys. I am taking my Cowboys on a bounce back. They are going to win this game and show that last week was a blimp in the road ahead. Anyone
Blimp.
Give me them boys.
anyone taking the
blimp?
Falcons?
Come on, someone be brave. I dare
Who's
you.
taking the Falcons?
Atlanta,
Should
yeah.
we give Sam
I'm taking
all
Atlanta.
of the opposite teams
You're,
Atlanta.
you're taking Atlanta?
since he's not
I'm taking
here?
Atlanta.
Frank's taking Atlanta. That means Cowboys are winning. All right, we're good.
It's one of my two.
Beautiful.
Phil, you're going Cowboys, I assume, correct?
Yeah.
That's why you didn't say anything. Okay. The 5-3 New Orleans Saints at the 7-2 Tennessee Titans. Again, I'm taking the Titans here. I just don't think the Saints have enough in there. Is anyone
So
Anyone
is Nick, because he's going to
jumping
copy
on the
you.
Saints?
I don't want to copy James, but he's picking up before me. I have to
I
just
know.
go with the Titans here.
Anyone jumping on the Saints? Anyone?
Titans.
I would consider it if they were at home, but I think the Titans' defense has been looking too good for me not to take the Titans.
All right. The upset special Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Nikki, where are you going
man.
here? Let's go you first.
Perfect. This time I get to pick the Colts.
Perfect.
first.
I'm also on this Colts bandwagon.
Yeah, me too.
Greco, you taking Jacksonville? Another upset?
Come on.
I gotta make up ground. Yeah, what the hell, Jacksonville.
Ooh, here's a big one, guys, big one. The 0-8 Detroit Lions at the
For now.
5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Is anyone taking Detroit?
Detroit, baby.
Could this be the week?
Let's do it.
This is not the week. I'm
Yes, it
taking the
is.
This is not the
Steelers.
week.
You riding with your
I'm
Detroit
riding it,
Lions,
baby. I'm
Frank?
riding. They're gonna get one.
Uh,
That's why I picked
All right.
Jacksonville. I'm gonna pick Houston.
I'm glad we got
Houston,
Frank
right.
here because at least we know we will not finish as bad as him at the rest of the season.
This
so
is
we're
great.
Good. Yeah, this is
Yes.
good.
We still
Okay,
lose 8 games.
Now we start
Lions
getting
will be
into some
9-8.
fun games, guys. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, the 4 o'clocks look a lot
No, there's
better.
one more 1 o'clock.
Oh, we have one more-
1 o'clock.
one more 1
The
o'clock,
5-4 Cleveland Browns at the 5-4 New England Patriots. Nick, you start.
Oh, I didn't want to start this one.
Good job, James.
You son of a gun. Ah, dear. Okay,
Oh, dear.
let's go with Nick Chubb's not playing this week, potentially.
Potentially.
The earnest scared stupid.
Give me the Browns still.
All right, Frank?
Cleveland.
Browns, maybe Marone. Browns, yeah.
Phil?
Browns.
I was going to take the Browns, but I'm not anymore. I need to make up ground. I'm taking New England.
This is cheating.
I like the Browns, but I like the Pats. The Pats have looked good. They didn't look that great on Sunday. We don't know if Mac Jones is going to play because there could be something coming down to Mac Jones.
Could be a suspension because of
I'm
his
gonna take the Browns on the
right.
chance that he gets suspended.
I like how you took
No
your time
ground
to make it
made.
look like you were going to take New England, but you're really just going to agree with your brother.
He was really going to take
I wanted to
so.
take New England. I really did, but there's nothing I could do.
Pretty sure he was taking
nothing
Cleveland
I could
the
do
whole
to
time.
take them on this one, unfortunately. The 3-5 Minnesota Vikings at the 5-3 Los Angeles Chargers, not San Diego, even though I call them that every week.
Superchargers.
Frank, why don't you start?
Okay, so Kirk Cousins 2 weeks ago he won. No, he lost 2 weeks ago and he won this week. So
No, he lost against Baltimore.
He's lost 2 weeks in a row now.
he lost 2 in a row,
Yeah, he's lost
2
2
in a
weeks
row,
in a
yeah.
row, yeah.
but he played better than last week.
Way
Yes.
better this week.
'cause
So he's
it
gonna
wasn't a
probably-
prime time
Defense
game. That's
been
why.
trash.
So good game, bad game. No, he's due for another bad game here in Minnesota.
There's the voice. I haven't heard that in a bit. There you go.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
So you're going Chargers.
I'm gonna pick the Vikings to lose.
Got it. So Chargers.
All right.
Superchargers.
Phil?
I am also going to take the Chargers. I don't trust Kirk Cousins right now, and I don't really know what the situation is with Dalvin Cook and his current legal
I'm wondering.
situation. If he's going to need some time away.
For those wondering, we just
Yeah.
there was some news that broke today that Dalvin Cook has apparently had some domestic abuse. He's a victim of domestic abuse. He didn't do anything. Apparently, it happened to him. And on top of that, there's some extortion going on that his agent just basically posted. We have no other details. It is Tuesday, like we said, that we're recording this, so I'm sure some new news will come out. But this could be the reason why he hasn't been playing very good with that on your head. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot going on there and whatnot. Plus, Minnie hasn't looked that good. But yeah. Anyways,
Thanks for clarifying the situation.
in
Yes.
regards to
That's exactly what's going on.
in regards to who I'm taking in this game, I think I'm going to jump on the Chargers again. The Chargers didn't play amazing, but they did get the win last week, and I think they'll do that again.
Yeah.
Nick?
Nicholas?
Man, I want to go with the Vikings to just, gain an extra point
do
potential
it.
on
Go
all
ahead.
of you, but
Potentially.
I
I don't think you've had a single lone wolf yet.
hey, that's not fair.
He's a scholar.
It doesn't have to
He's
be this
calculating.
one.
Peer pressure.
I'm
Peer
just saying.
pressure.
I don't
I'm
think
going
you've
with-
gone on your own once.
Not this week, but I'm still going with the Chargers.
All right, the 4-5 Carolina Panthers with now PJ Walker leading the way.
PJ
at
Walker,
the
XFL.
8-1 Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. We still don't know if Murray's going to play. The news today was that he looks better and they're hoping he plays. And then the news on Hopkins is he hasn't looked any different than he was before. So there's a chance you get one, maybe not the other. There still could be a chance you get both, or there's a chance you don't get either. We'll have to see how that goes. I'll start here. I'm going to stick with the Cardinals. They looked good last week. I don't think Carolina has what everyone's saying it is, and I think they'll win this game. Frank?
Yeah, I seen enough from Arizona last week to know that they're a well-coached team. They don't need their superstars necessarily. I think they do it again.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, Colt McCoy or Kyler Murray. Give me Arizona.
Phil?
Arizona.
Beautiful. All right. The 3-6 Philadelphia Eagles at the 5-4 Denver Broncos. And this one, I want Broncos to win as much as, just by being a Cowboy fan. Eagles, I don't know which Eagles team we're going to see this week. I don't think anyone ever does.
For real.
They're like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And apparently Jalen Hurts doesn't know how to throw the ball for touchdowns or anything at all like that. They just seem to run the ball in, and if they don't run 5 touchdowns, they don't win games. So I will go with the Broncos at home. It's hard to play in Denver. Phil?
Agreed. Denver at home.
Frank?
It's tough at Mile High, but I like Philly. I mean, ever since Miles Sanders went down, it seems like suddenly Philly's got a run game. They're actually running the ball, and they've been doing it well. So I think they can. I'm going to stick with Philly.
Nick's taking Denver because I did. Just put that in.
I was going to be the
pressure.
lone wolf and take the Eagles
So
on this one.
So
because,
go with it anyways, then. Prove me wrong.
No, but now Greco took the Eagles, and I can't do it now. It doesn't work.
Hey, I got 2 last week.
Because Greco
That could be one of the two.
Eagles.
Frank, you ruined
now
it
I gotta
for me,
take the
Frank.
Broncos.
You ruined it.
Come on.
Gotta take the
Shambhatsa.
Broncos.
That's hilarious. All right. We got this should be the game of the week. I think if everybody plays it's supposed to play, but the 3-5 Seattle Seahawks at the 7-2 Green Bay Packers. We don't know if Rodgers is going to play. He has to wait the full 10 days. And then we also don't know if there's going to be a suspension that comes. We have no idea what's going on with that. Russell Wilson was cleared for practice today. So yesterday, he is allowed to practice, but we don't know if he's going to play. All indications are saying he will play. But again, that hasn't been fully announced yet. So, Nick, who are you taking?
I got Russell in my lineup, so I'm hoping he plays.
He should. They're saying he should. But
no.
they also said that Tyson Hill should have played last week, and there was reports
for
that
real.
Kyler should have played earlier too. So
I am really hoping that Aaron Rodgers is playing, and I'm going to take the Packers over the Seahawks.
cool. Well, since you did that, I can do this. I'm going to take the Seahawks over the Packers with Russell coming back.
All right.
Phil? Tough call, eh?
It's a good one. This is
You're essentially gambling on which quarterback's going to start. In a perfect world, if both quarterbacks start, I like Green Bay.
correct.
If Rodgers doesn't start and Wilson does, I like Seattle, and vice versa. So I think I'm just going to take a shot and say Green Bay because Seattle's in my division and fuck them.
And for that reason, I'm taking the
Biased
Seahawks.
pick. I like it. You're going Seahawks, Frank? Shit. Can I change my pick?
I'm never taking
Nope,
the
it's
Packers.
locked in.
Get out of here.
It's locked in.
See, he's picked the same reason
Exactly.
as me because he hates the Packers.
Oh, man. All right. This should be fun. We got chaos versus chaos in the Sunday Nighter. The 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs that have no identity at the 5-3 Las Vegas Raiders who are in shambles. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Nick, go ahead, buddy. Where do you want to start?
Will Beckham
Which
I went
team's
first
not
last
gonna
time.
You go
Hold
first
on.
again.
This guy. You know what kills me, guys? I have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes on one of my teams, and I can't get a win with those guys because they have been so bad.
This might be
You got
the
the
week.
linebacker Josh Allen or the quarterback Josh
Oh
Allen?
my goodness. Sheesh. I don't like this matchup at all. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs because I just don't think the Raiders are doing much anymore, and not that the Chiefs are either. Give me the
Great,
Chiefs.
great explanation there, Nick. That was good. I like it.
Frank?
If Beckham signs neither of these teams, is he going to play this week? Probably not, eh?
Even
probably
if he
not.
plays, I don't think he'll know.
Doesn't
It
matter.
would have to be
He'll know
really
enough
early in
to
the week.
jump in
it's
there,
already
really, right?
Tuesday. It wouldn't be until Wednesday.
And he's not going to sign with the Raiders, most likely. Deshaun Jackson just
No,
signed
he
there.
would sign with
Agreed.
the Chiefs, if anything.
Yeah.
Theoretically speaking. Chiefs.
Damn it.
So I'm just looking at the
Chiefs.
Chiefs schedule here. How did this go here? So
You
they
can't go
they
look
beat the
back.
Packers, they beat the Giants, they lost
He's
to the
doing research
Titans.
now.
What is this
I gotta
guy?
catch
What
you.
the
Hold
heck?
on.
Research.
They beat Washington, lost to the Bills, beat the Eagles, lost to the Chargers, lost to the Ravens, beat the Browns.
Yeah, what's their
Okay.
record at home against the Minnesota? Against
Yeah, that's just too
Oakland?
much to really
on
go
Monday
into right now.
nights,
They're on a 2-game
on
win
November
streak, so
games.
that would just tell me that they're technically up for a loss now because
They're due. Yeah, they're due.
right? They haven't had
So the
more
Lions
than
are due
2
for a win.
games. Actually, they were win 1, lost 1. This is the first time they're on a stretch.
Oh, well, they streak.
So actually, I'd rather them win this week because the week after they're facing the Cowboys on there. So
Pick a team.
Make your
4-game win
pick.
streak coming? Holy.
hey, fuck you guys. I can do what I want. Okay,
Hurry up.
jackasses. I am taking the Chiefs. Fuck off.
Why not?
Chiefs.
You took that whole spiel just to take the same team as me.
I'll take the
I
Raiders.
can't take the Raiders. I have no faith in the Raiders.
You know you don't have faith in that pick, Phil. You already know.
100%. I'm taking the
Phil,
Raiders.
you're going to be a lone wolf on this next pick too.
Let's
Don't
go.
worry about it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers too. Let's go. I'll tell you straight up.
Seven.
Upset again. Fuck you, Stafford, on prime time.
Hey, how come
Throw one right into my
how come
hand
the 49ers,
already.
hey, how come the 49ers don't have cheerleaders?
How come they don't have what? Sorry,
How come the 49ers don't have cheerleaders?
I don't know why.
Because when they sit down, their balls hang out.
Is that because they're from San Francisco? They play in Santa Clara now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can't put this one on
the
there.
7-2 Rams at
That was funny.
the 7-2 Rams at the 3-5 49ers. I'm on the Rams. Nick's on the Rams. Bill's on the 49ers.
Hey, don't make my picks for
Are you
me.
taking the 49ers, Nick? So
No,
then
but I
shut
want to
up.
say I am on the Rams. I want to say it.
Frank, you're the oddball. Where are you going?
We got the Rams and
And the 49ers. It's not
And
a
the
tough one. You just
49ers.
made the joke about the 49ers.
Yeah, you
and
literally
it's-
just made the joke.
it's
How do you
prime,
not-
It's in San Francisco,
It is,
right?
yes.
in
It's-
Frisco.
It is.
prime time Stafford.
Prime time.
So at least we
Prime
get to
time.
stay home for the week.
What was the what was that stat you said? Him on prime time, he's 6-12. What'd you say?
6-12.
14.
6-14. This is another prime time game. I mean, the caliber of team,
Make it 6-15.
the caliber of
7
team
Yeah,
they're
give
facing
me
is
the
not very
Niners.
good.
Even if their balls hang out, give me the Niners.
It's okay. They're well-groomed balls.
At least they better be.
All right. Well, I can only catch Nick on one game this week if that happens, or else it'll be still us at the
For
top.
real.
So,
It's gonna be bad.
anyways, gentlemen,
We're either gonna get really good, James, or we're gonna they're gonna catch
We'll
up.
have to get Sam's
the,
picks, and we'll
the
add it
good
to the
thing
Instagram
about all
post.
of this
Yeah.
is that no matter how bad we do, Frank still can't catch us. So we're fine.
Yeah, he's
It's like the
far.
Lions
Yeah.
trying to catch.
No, that's
anybody.
not true.
A ball.
Oh man. Anyways, that is our show for this week, gentlemen. It was fun talking with you guys. It actually was pretty good without Sam. I didn't have to hear him talk about the Broncos, so I'm a little happy about that. But Sam, I'm sure you'll be back next week, and then we can,
Everyone else got a little bit more
Excuse me.
talking time.
exactly right.
This show went nuts
Yeah, this episode would have been 3 hours.
without that Broncos talk.
So,
Especially with the Broncos beating the
I know,
who did they
I
beat
was-
this week?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
was already
true.
coming up with excuses why I couldn't make the show, but then Sam bailed out first, and I'm pretty sure what happened was he
was
planned
fantastic.
this excuse last week because he thought the Broncos were going to
Yeah,
lose,
he already
and so
he
he
booked
already
something in
pre-planned it, but he couldn't get out of it, so he had no choice but to go. For
Always
whatever
thinking
it
ahead,
was.
that guy.
But,
He's always thinking ahead.
I mean, that's what I'm going to go with and whatnot. So
I could totally.
Well, you better
see him
hope
doing
the
that.
Cowboys win this week.
yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, I do hope.
Anyways, thank you for listening. Like, if you guys want to
Ciao.
check out our picks, you can check us out on Instagram. We'll have them there. And other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys enjoy, and good luck to all your teams, and happy football. Take care, everyone.
Ciao.
See ya.
Próxima.